Alright, what you see here is a new fan I got at Oberson Hardware. This is a Boston Harbor ceiling fan, 42 inches. It's basically a polished brass Littleton. However, this looks a lot more like the 90s version of the Littleton made by Aircool with the non-integrated light kit. I looked at some of the specs online before buying it, and it actually has a 153mm motor, so it's not a tiny 131 motor, so I'm honestly curious to see how it performs. I've always wanted a polished brass version of a Littleton, and although the Walmart version that I have, the mainstays in English brass is closed, it's still not exactly a polished brass version. And a lot of the fans that they seem to have under the Boston Harbor name appears to be a lot of like relabeled models. Like they have a version that looks like the Grayton from Hampton Bay from the 2001 model for about $60 to $69, I think. This one was actually on sale at a local Oberson Hardware for $40, so I figured I'd get it. They also have a brushed nickel one and a oil or bronze one. Brushed nickel one's the same price as this, and depending on how this one performs and how much I like it, I might get the nickel one as well, because I've always liked seeing Littletons, fans that look like the Littleton in a nickel finish as well. The bronze one I'm not too sure if I'll get, but the polished brass one I figured I'd get. And such. The fact that they were in person was also a nice thing as well, as a lot of the Oberson Hardwares I've been to don't have ceiling fans in stock in the store. So, yeah. And I've always been curious to trying out the Boston Harbor fan, and I've always wanted to get one. That's because the name Boston is the capital of the state that I live in. So, yeah. And also, the other thing is, for it not to be selling a polished brass fan still is kind of obscure, so I figured I'd get it because who knows if they'll discontinue it down the line. As I do like some of the generic huggers like this in polished brass and antique brass. Basically, I got it because I don't want to regret not getting it, because that's kind of the issue that I have with the Westinghouse Casanova. While they still sell them, they've redesigned it, the housing, where it's more stretched looking. And now I'm having difficulty finding one like that before they like change up the housing. With the Westinghouse Petite and the antique brass finish is the same situation, and same thing with the brushed nickel one, but thankfully I have both of those from before the redesign. But back to this fan, yeah, they had it on sale, and from what I'm guessing, this fan's been there for a few years, because it's the only ones that they had in stock. I remember the Ace Hardware near me, they had a Westinghouse Vintage and a Westinghouse Art Point, I think it was called, a white and brass fan of sorts. And they were there for a few years before they finally sold. But I noticed that they had the older Westinghouse box art from like the early 2000s era. Something about hardware ceiling fans, or hardware stores like Ace Hardware, smaller ones like those. I noticed they tend to not sell ceiling fans right away like the ones at Home Depot or Lowe's. And since this is more of a hardware store brand of sorts, I figured I'd try it out. Choice of local walnut blades. That's all the info. I know that the older box art supposedly looked a bit kind of like the older Hampton Bay box art from like the late 90s. So this one seems to have a newer box art design. These are the tags that were on it. There was one right here, then there was one that was on the side of the box. I moved both of them just to keep them right here. I like to have the box where I can see the actual fan image. Hold on. Yeah, here's the info. I'm not sure how accurate that is. That is kind of setting to see that, but hopefully the fan proves me wrong in the performance. But yeah, I do know on the website says that it has a 153 motor, so that kind of inclined me enough to buy it. Plus, since they said that they had one locally at a Abu in Abuchan hardware store for $40, $20 off from what they would go online in other places, I figured, you know what, that's a good enough reason to get it. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.